श्रेयोमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। धन्यवाद। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। संस्कृतम की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। So Hare Krishna, welcome everybody for today's session on Sanskrit for scriptural study, and today we are doing session number 7, and mainly the main focus is we'll discuss Gonitaksharani, but of course we'll do other things also, but just main new thing is Gonitaksharani. So yeah, we'll talk about what this word means when we come to that slide. But before that, we want to talk about something which came up in the discussion, like what is the, or rather, when can the m, which is like um, no, pavargiya makaraha, right? Pa, pha, b, bha, m, right? When does that m, I'm talking about m without the akara, okay? Otherwise, we have to say ma. M can be converted into anuswaraha. There is a rule. So when we understand this rule, we will understand that actually we can follow that rule also, and also we can see, that actually there is no difference, and this is the rule which is coming into play. So first of all, we need to understand uh, what is the scope of this rule. Okay, everything should be one second. Yeah, so everything should be applied in the scope or the context which is described. Otherwise, they will be out of context. Like how we have the thing, right? We should not quote, Shastras out of the context or Srila Prabhupada's statements out of the context. Then, the meaning will be different, or we are misapplying the rule. So it's very important to understand where is the context. So it's padantaha makaraha. This makara should be padantaha, means padasya antaha, ending letter of the pada. It should be ending letter of the pada. Then only we can apply this rule. But the earlier rule we discussed, which is about natvam, that was the nakara should be in the middle of the word. Correct? And compared to this is completely opposite. So essentially now this is considered actually a sandhi rule. Sandhi rule happens with the ending letter of the first word and the beginning letter of the second word. So actually this is one instance of a sandhi. Okay. So this makara should be end of the word. Okay. See, for example, people ask a question. Aham. We say, right, aham means I. This is Uttama Purusha Ekavachanam. Uttama Purusha, we use this form, right? Aham gacchami. I go, right? So there we call this aham. But some places in statements we see aham with anuswara on top. So then are these same? That's the question basically. Okay. So the answer is they are like, essentially it's a different incarnation, you can think. It's like there is a sandhi transformation going on. Okay. So the rule is like this. This is a rule. Okay. So padanta makaraha plus hal vyanjanam. Then if it followed by a hal, which is a vyanjanam, hal is nothing but all the vyanjanam, correct? The short form or the Sanskrit name or the technical name for vyanjanani. Correct? Vyanjanam is consonants. If suppose the padanta makara is followed by a vyanjanam, then it gets transformed into a anuswaraha. And this hal remains as it is. Okay? So this is the rule. Padanta makara. So this is the first word. Okay? And this is the second word. This is the beginning letter of the second word. And if suppose ending letter of the first word is m, okay, just the m without akara, then that m gets converted into anuswaraha. Anuswaraha. Okay, anuswaraha. So, rule in English, the makara at the end of a pada is converted to anuswara when the hal varna follows it. Okay, simple. So, remember this combination. I'll give one example. For example, and when do we get this? Usually in our vibhakti table, we get in Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. Ramam, right? Sitam, we get what else? Gopim, right? And also we get in Shashti Bahuvachanam. Ramanam, right? Or Sitanam, or we get, for example, Gopinam, right? So these are the two words we need to focus. Whenever we are using that words, we need to make sure we are following this rule in a sentence. And you observe, when I give practice exercises, you observe whether they are following this pattern or no. Okay? See, for example, if there is a statement like this, Ramam bhajami. Okay? And this bhajami is like I worship, right? It's Uttama Purusha Ekavachanam. So aham Ramam bhajami. So bha is hal, correct? Vyanjanam. So then what will happen? This makara gets a anuswara transformation. So it should be written like this. So Ramam bhajami. Okay? So another easy way to remember is if you know like this magnetic rules, right? Like objects repel. So this is a hull, this is a hull. So they don't like each other. So this makara goes away. That's one way to remember that. Okay. And because then we get confused. Should I do it when hull is there or should I do it when ach is there? We get confused. So if you know some tricks like this, it becomes easy. See another example, for example, Krishnam ahvayami. I invite Krishna. Okay. See here, this is a swara. So in this case, the rule will not apply. So it can be as it is, or you can join them and combine in one single statement. See, because m plus a, because ma, that's what Gunitaksharani today we will discuss. It can become considered like a akara actually. So that becomes like this. You can together, you can tell in one breath. Krishna mahvayami. Okay. There here also another technique you can follow. See, because this whenever there is swara is there, that can be joined and we can go into that makarasya chain, mama, mimi, like that. So that's the reason when swara is there, it doesn't change. Correct? But whereas in hal is there, because you cannot do any such transformations, this gets repelled and it becomes anuswara. Simple? That's all we have to do. Just understand this rule and start applying, because later when we use sentences, when we start applying, it becomes second nature. And these are some practice exercises for you to do at home. Apply this and do it in the home. Okay. So these are some exercises, some with ach, some with hal. So you can do it. Okay. And in the material when I share, I will give you the answers for this in a different slide. So you can double check your, first you work on this and you can double check your answers with the answers given. So that way you can immediately, we don't have to do back and forth any communication. Okay, if any doubts, if suppose something is applied, misapplied, we can discuss in the class next time. Okay, this is your first homework. Simple rule. Okay. Somebody has a question? Yes,
Mataji, just one question. Just wanted to know, Sandhi doesn't happen in two Vyanjans, like two hulls, right? Like in the first
Actually,
case, Ramam Bhajami, so Sandhi doesn't happen when two hulls are there, or we can do Sandhi there also.
where are two hulls here, Prabhuji? So here Ra is followed by A, Mu is followed by A, and then Mu is there. There
No,
is no
no, at
sun.
the first words ending, Na is hull, and second words beginning, Bha is hull. So
Yes.
Sandhi will not happen here.
No, this is what we are calling Sandhi. This is the effect of
Okay,
Sandhi.
okay. Okay, Mataji,
The
got it.
effect of Sandhi is when Hal is following, this Makara converts into Anuswara.
Got it, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. This is called Anuswara Sandhi, if you want to name it like that. Okay, Vijay Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dhanavad Prabhuji. Yeah.
Regarding this Sanuswara, I have one confusion. Some for a word like Sanskritam, we are putting Sa Anuswara. And for word like Sambodhana, we are putting Sa and Im. We are writing Im. So when this dot should be put and when Ma should be written, is there any rule, Mataji? Any, or can we put Sambodhana, Sam and dot Anuswaraha?
So, yeah. So Prabhuji, there are other applications for this rule. So essentially the pada, right? The pada, what is the definition of pada? That's what we need to understand. See, what we are telling is when the makara is at the end of a pada, then apply this rule. This rule is telling that, correct? And what we know so far as pada is suptingantam padam. That's all, correct? Basically the words in the vibhakti table and the words in the tinganta table or kriya pada table, those are only padas for us in this series, basically, correct? But later on, we will understand the pada is given, that main pada is given to other categories as well. So in the case of Sanskritam, Kritam is a part of a Kriya Pada, but some is called a Upasarga or prefix. And some also gets a Pada Sanya or Pada terminology. So then that's why it becomes Anuswara. So that becomes complicated. So when I discuss the Upasargas, in that context, again I will bring up this sutra and I will tell we should apply here also and we will discuss some examples. So, because that's the whole, this is like a spaghetti, the whole Vyakarana, everything is interlinked with each other. So, somehow we have to pick things in a way such it looks like logical presentation and we are going forward. And we cannot put everything in one shot, becomes too much overwhelming and it's too much. So, I thought about that in discussing this sutra and understanding the thing. I understood there are two more applications for this. But that will come later. When it comes, we will again revisit this and we'll extend this application at that time. Okay, Prabhuji?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
So at the end of this year, you will understand in all cases what to do where. Okay, that much time we need. Okay, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
gradually we should take it up. Okay, thank you. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Prabhu.
Mataji, just wanted to know, even though we are doing this transformation, still there will be no effect on the pronunciation. Na? Even if it is written as Ramam in the here or here with the Anuswaraha, so there will be no difference in pronunciation. Na?
Yeah, I thought about this also, Prabhuji. But technically, if you see, when we studied the rules last time, what happened? Makara comes in which varga? What is that? Upu Padmaniyanam. Upu Padmaniyanam Oshtav, correct? pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, oshtav. It's with the lips. Upu, padmaniyanam, oshtav. Then what is this? Anuswarasya nasika. So they are actually technically in a different category. But I don't know how to, I have not heard the sound being different. Okay. Because when we say m, there also we have to use the nasika. Because for what there is another rule he gave, right? Nemang nanam nasika cha. So they also have nasika. Anuswara also has nasika. But m also has oshtav. So it's okay. We don't need to go to this thing. But what I've heard is always same sound will come actually. But at least this is the rule on the paper. We need to follow this rule.
Sure.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next thing. So this is where we discuss the Gunita Aksharani. Okay. So what is the name actually? So we'll understand this. Gunita means multiplied. Ganita means mathematics in Sanskritam. Okay. Gunita means multiplied. Aksharani means letters. Varnaha. So multiplied letters. Okay. I don't know whether you heard this term earlier, but yeah, this is what it is. So what is it? So basically we discussed our basic building blocks earlier, right? For any kavyam, we have poetry padyam and gadyam. And it starts with basic building blocks, aksharani or varnaha, alphabet. And there are two categories, swaraha, vyanjanani, vowels and consonants, ach and hal. Okay? And this is where anuswara, visarga also are there, which are not part of vowels. This is, we are repeating third time. So that's why I'm going very fast here. Okay, we know this. So now we already also studied what's the difference from Hindi. So I will again read this so that we can get used to the pronunciation. A, I, U, R, L, A, I, O, Au, Aha. These are the swaras. Of course, these are not technically swaras. But they are used because they are used. They're useful in the speaking. So Ramaha we say no. So we need a way to pronounce that. Now we also discuss rules for Vyanjanani. These are called Ucharana Sthanani. These are points of articulation. What are the rules? And there are specific rules for all the Vyanjanani. And once we train our mouth apparatus to properly put the tongue in a proper position, the sound which comes is the perfect sound. So we have to practice that. That's what we discussed last time. So again, I will try to recite. These are kantiya. Kantiya. This comes kavarga, comes from the throat. Ka, kha, ga, gha, This is talu. Cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. Ta, tha, da, dha, la. This is murdana. Tongue will hit the top. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. This is just before the teeth. This is dantyaha. Then pa, pha, bha, bha, ma. This is with oshtav. Okay. Then last one, of course, has all the anunasik with the nose. Ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, ha. And ya, ra, la, va are called antastaha because they are in between the swaras and vyanjanas. So there the word antaha means inside or in between, not end. Okay, that's what Brajagopinath Prabhu clarified. There, that's coming from Pradipadikam antar. Antar means in between. So they come in between the swaras and vyanjanani. These four are called antastaha and saha are called ushmanaha. Okay, ushmanaha. Okay, so this is a technical discussion we already had. Maya Mataji, you have any question now?
You have not mentioned about Mahaprana and Alpaprana, Mataji. You'll be telling now.
Yeah, I can tell that, Mataji. Good point. So there's something called prana. Prana means actually vayu or the air, right? We understand that. So alpa prana means we use less air in pronouncing the letters. Mahaprana means we use more air. Okay. So the second and the fourth column, they are called Mahaprana letters. That means for other if we don't have the differentiation, we will say everything flat. Then nobody will understand the difference between ka and kha. Okay. So we need to put little bit more air in pronouncing this. And how to generate that air? practically what you can do is you have to little bit take your belly inside. So this air should come from inside the tummy. Then that comes properly. Okay? Like you can physically feel that your tummy is going inside when you say this. Okay? See, ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. So when you do that, proper sound will come. So we can physically practice like that, and then the sound will come. Cha, cha, ja, cha, nya. Of course, individually pronounced, we put more effort, but it should come flow naturally when we have word like this, gachanti. So you can feel the difference. There is extra air in that. So like that. I think we tried to practice last time. We took all of us took a lot of chants. So mainly Mahaprana is second and fourth column. Okay. So the first and these third column are Alpa Prana. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay. So now we'll go to Gunitaksharani. So what is Gunitaksharani? So we also studied some terminology, correct? Shuddha Vyanjanam in Sanskritam is the one which has halant. This halant seems like a Hindi name. There is no Sanskritam name for this. I asked my teacher also. So this symbol is called halant. Halant. Of course, this name is also perhaps coming from Sanskrit because hal means Vyanjanam, correct? So Shuddha Vyanjanam ends with this halant mark and doesn't have a akara in it. So you have to like ku, chu, tu, tu, pu. We should tell like that. Like how we tell palak, ending letter of Hindi, no? Like that we should tell. But whereas akara yukta Vyanjanam, the akara will come and take away this halant, and this comes the one akara yukta Vyanjanam. So when we say, we have to pronounce this as ka, Rama, Ram, we should not tell Ram, like that. Okay, so we discussed this also earlier. Now somebody may ask, what if I know there are 13 swaras, e, like the 13. Instead of akara, I want to put other things to kara, kakara. What will happen? Now assume, how many Vyanjanani are there? Who knows? So basically 5, 5, 25 plus 8, right? So 33 Vyanjanani are there. And how many swaras are there? 13 swaras are there. Now for each Vyanjanam, you can apply all the 13 swaras. So that's how it becomes multiplication. You understand? That's why it's called Gunita Aksharani. It's multiplied letters basically. Okay, now we are getting into combinations. Of course, these are all you have studied Hindi in your in your schools, everything. But we have to cover everything also properly so that there is no confusion. When you see certain letter, what it is. Earlier somebody has a confusion. So we have to cover everything nicely. See, for example, this is very easy to understand what symbol to be put when which swara is added to a varna. Okay, Vyanjanam. For example, if a takara is added, that consonant, this halant will goes away. Okay, so it remains like this. In next slide, I'll show you how to write them. But when akara is there, just follow the pattern. See, akara has one extra line. So for the Vyanjanam, you just add one extra line. Simple. For ikaraha, you just draw an extra line and put it's called kommu, or I don't know what you say in Hindi. Something from the from left bar. From this bar, and this circle represents our Vyanjanam in target Vyanjanam we are trying to handle. Okay. So for that, you write that letter and put a line left to it and then put a line on top. Okay. And ikaraha, this line, see the symbol? This line is going like this. So similarly, this line continues like this. So you should not be confused. Some people even get confused. Should I do Hrasva Ikara or Dirgha Ikara in reading? Should not be confused. The same line is coming like this and coming. And Ukara, just follow the pattern. See, U is coming like this. So that same symbol goes below the letter. Okay? Ukaraha, Dirgha. So this one, you as if like you elongate this, but it goes in the reverse direction. Okay? Just remember this. This is on the left side and this goes to the right side. Ukaraha. And this is where people also get confused. Rukaraha, Rukaraha. Actually, Rukaraha has two ways to write it. Right? But for the sake of this example, this is all based on the fonts. Okay, this is Sanskrit font. In that font, it's coming like this. which helps me to share, what's a pattern. So when there's a hook here, turning that side, it's like a C, English C. So whenever you see an English C below, it's a rikaraha. The same thing is following. When you see two C's, that's a dirgha rikaraha. But in some fonts, this rikara is written like this. But this symbol is still same. Okay? Yeah. And some people, in some fonts, this rikara is used to indicate dirgha rikaraha. So based on the word, we will be able to understand what is it and pronounce appropriately, no problem. But this symbols remains the same. When there is a C, it's a rikaraha. When there is two C's, it's a dirgha rikaraha. And this is a la, right? La. So you just, same thing, you remove the top things and you apply to the varna. Okay? Ekaraha, dirgha ekaraha as one line on the left. And dirgha A and I, okay, I, two lines on the left, on the top of the bar. Then O, you similar to this O, write one line and put one line left on top. Just follow the same pattern. Au, just draw one line and two lines on the left. It has one dot on top, one dot on top, two dots on the left. Sorry, right. Okay, simple. This we already studied. Now again we are going to basics and revisiting this.
So Prasanna here.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Namaste ji. See this dirgha rikaraga, how it will actually sound? Will it sound like kr or it is like r when you add it? That's my doubt.
Yeah, you need to just extend it more. Like how do you differentiate between E and E? Vimatra kalaha, right? So for example, r, we say r, Krishna. But pitrunam. So you have to make it little longer.
Little
Say
longer. Oh,
Krishna.
okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Just extend it long. That's
okay. Narasimha means first r, right?
first r, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Nrasimha.
Thank you, Madaji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, done. Okay, then now I'll show you a sample letter writing already this. I've already written so that we don't spend time in the class. For example, let's take a consonant ka, ku, pure consonant. Now when we add akara, that the halant goes away. So this is where we get a akara yukta vyanjanam kakara. Okay, and also this term kara, remember this kara. When we say kakara means I'm referring to the letter called ka. Akara means referring to the letter called a. Otherwise, how do you refer, right? It's difficult. So that's akaraha, kakaraha, pakaraha, like that they did. Okay. Now means write a line next to it. Ka, ki. Then write from here. Ki, ku, kr, kla, ke, kai, ko, kau, kam, kaha. So all we have to do now with the ka, just add the swara flavor to this and pronounce it. We have studied this. Kaka, kiki, kuku, kr, kl, ke, kai, ko, kau, kam, kaha. Simple. And any vyanjanam you to take, same pattern you follow. That's it. Only difference is, if you take rakaraha as your vyanjanam, when we add ukaraha and ukaraha, it doesn't come at the bottom, it comes on the side. That's the only difference. See this ukaraha, this hook, this is ru. Okay, ru. That's the only difference. All of you have studied this, so no problem, but I have to highlight the difference. Otherwise, any vyanjanam you take, say, put the same patterns, you'll be able to understand. So now, when you see this kr, nobody should get confused. Is it a ukara? Is it a rikaraha? Is it a rakaraha? Understand, right? See, why we are covering from basics, so that later, I don't want anybody making mistakes. Okay, so we should be thorough in this. So to practice that, let's again go back to our schooling homeworks and try to practice them. So matru, for example, m. This is called matra bhyasaha. These are called matras actually. The line is called akara matra. Symbol. Matra means symbol or indicator, like that. Abhyasa means practice. Varna vichedaha means to split the words. Okay. So matru, if you say m plus a, t plus r. See this r, this is the hrasva rikaraha. This is another font. This is Nirmala font. It comes like this. But in Sanskrit font, the first symbol also rikara only. Okay, so what we need to do, how we are going to do is, when we split it, we have to go to the basic building blocks in such a way that they cannot be broken further and write equations. So ma, mu plus a and tu plus r. Okay. Similarly, balan, bu plus a, lu plus a plus n. Why we need to practice this, especially if we are Hindi speaking, so we don't get confused whether the na is ending or no. Still, people are making mistakes. So unless we write it first initially and later we can take it to the mental level, we will not be able to get out of that block. Okay, so we have to practice. And wherever there is anuswara, use the anuswara symbol. P plus a plus anuswara, or you can say a plus anuswara, that's also fine. P plus a, hamsa. Okay. Then jalam. See here, this is padanta makara. J plus a, l plus a, m. Okay. Simple. Right? Nothing new here. So now exercises. So I've given some words here. So please, it may be baby or I know it, you may feel like that, but please go through this exercise and do it in this form and reverse. Given these statements, try to make a word. Okay? Both varna vichedaha and varna yojanam. Both. Okay? If you do that, and then I will share in the material, the answers will be given. Then you compare your answers and validate and improve if there is any mistake. Everybody clear about the homework? Okay, simple. Okay. So now let's go to our Shabda Pataha. So last time we didn't study any Shabdas, no? Srijita Mataji was asking, can you give me one Shabda? So today we are going to give a bonus Shabdas. Quite a lot of Shabdas we are going to study today. So be ready. This is another new thing we are going to study today. So we are going to enter into a new field called Sarvanama Shabdaha. Pronouns. Sarvanama means they name anybody basically. You can understand it. Nama means naming. Sarva means everybody. So these are called pronouns. See, when we say he, it could refer to any type of masculine person, like Krishna, Rama, Balarama. We can make one sentence with that person, like Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything. Full stop. But he doesn't have a source. So like that. When we say he, it refers to the previous noun we introduced. So like that. But he could make a statement, Balarama also. Balarama is Krishna's elder brother. He is white in color. When we say he here, we could be referring to Balarama. Correct? So that's why these are called Sarvanama Shabdaha. Based on the previous word where we introduced, they indicate that particular person. But there are forms are same. So for that, in module 1, we have Avashishta Shabdaha. What are the rest of the Shabdas we need to study in module 1? If you make a chart, these are all the Shabdas. Okay. So here we have the actual Pratipadikam. Pratipadikam is the base form of the word before we add the Supratyaya. Correct? And what is the meaning of the word? And what is Antyavarnaha? And then Prabhedaha, variations, and example. So let's go through this one by one, at least for the 3 rows. Okay. So Kim. Kim is a Shabda, Pratipadikam. It means who or what. Okay, who or what. And what is Antyavarna? M. So Makarantaha. So when we use Kim also, we can use this rule now. If Kim comes in a table, we can use this rule. Right? Okay. What are the variations? There is separate table for Pullingaha, Napunsakalinga, Strilingaha. Example. See, Kim is a Pratipadikam, but the Pullinga form has Kaha. So Krishna Kaha, who is Krishna? Radha Ka, who is Radha? Kim Vratam, what Vrata are you following? See, based on the Linga, the form has changed. Understand? That's why there are 3 different tables to study. But everybody remember, the Pratipadikam is Makaranta Shabda only. Don't forget, always remember the Pratipadikam. Okay? That's one thing. Next one, Yad. Yad again is dakaranta shabdaha, which means whoever, whichever. Kim means kisne kiya, kaun hai, like that. And yad means jis kisi ne kiya, जो कोई अच्छा पढ़ता है वो अच्छी तरह से आगे बढ़ता है जिंदगी में, like that. जो कोई, जिस किसी ने, I will show you the table with actual words also, like that. Dakarantaha, remember this is Dakarantaha. This also has 3 different tables. Yah patati sah janati, one who reads, one understands. Ya patati sah janati, yat patati tat janati. Same, forms are different, but the understanding of the word is same. Okay. Next, tat shabdaha, dakaranta shabdaha. Again, it indicates a person who is far, actually. So he, she, or that who is far. This also has 3 variations. It's different for different linga. Saha balakaha, sa balika, tat phalam. Okay. Just that we need to memorize more tables, but the concept is same. Everybody understand what the pratipadikam on what they mean first. Then for that, then obviously these 3 we will cover later. Then another variation, if somebody is very near to me, I will say etad. There's another variation that we'll study later. But today, what I thought, we will cover 3 shabdas and 2 variations of each of them because they're exactly same pattern. We can just finish it off in one shot. It becomes very easy for us to increase our vocabulary. Okay? So anybody has any doubt about what they mean first? Then we'll discuss this. Otherwise, we'll get into the tables.
Yeah, Mataji, if you can explain Pratipadikam. Initially, you told that if you can, I missed that part.
Okay. So did you catch up with all the old sessions, Prabhuji?
Yes. I'm aligned.
Okay. You're flying.
Aligned.
Okay. Aligned. Sorry. Aligned. Okay. Sorry. I didn't hear properly. Okay.
Flying also.
So flying also is good. Okay. So Pratipadikam actually doesn't fly, Prabhuji. It stays on the ground. That's why it's called base form. Okay. So that word we cannot use in the sentences. Okay. Only when the Pratipadikam gets the supratyaya, that's when he gets a pada. So I have to show you the table for that. Okay. See, this kim is the base form. It stays on the ground. We cannot use it in a sentence. We can only use in grammar discussions to refer to Pratipadikam like that. But when this gets the supratyayas, okay, who will tell me how many supratyayas are there?
21.
21. Okay, 21. 21 because there are 7 rows and 3 columns, right? There are 21 supratyayas. When we add them, then this pratipadikam gets transformed into these entries, basically. We fill the table. Okay. And these things can be used in sentences. These things can fly. Okay. But this cannot be used. So, for example, I cannot say Kim Krishnaha. Okay. But of course, Kim in Napunsakalinga gets that same form. That is valid. Kim Pustakam, I can tell. I'll show you the table. So all we need to do is, it should be in a bona fide table. Then only I can use in a sentence. That's as simple as that. And we need to have a name for that. So the root form or the base form is called Pratipadikam. And this is called Padam. What we can use in the table is called Padam. Okay. So this is our so nobody has a question as to the meanings of the words, correct? Okay, then we'll go to actually the table. Okay, who? Kim, and we are discussing only Pullinga Shabda, Pullinga form here. Okay, in Pullinga, this follows the same pattern how, for example, Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Instead of Ramaha, it becomes different. That's it. Once we get this table, other tables will be very easy for us. So what we'll do is, I will first read this, then because it's very simple, maybe we will see, we can do without repeating. If you all know how to pronounce properly, let's see. Okay, so we should always start with its heading, what we are talking about. So, Makarantaha, Pullingaha, Kim Shabdaha, Kaha Kauke iti Prathama, Kam Kaukan iti Dvitiya, Kenakabhyam Kaihi iti Tritiya, Tasmaikabhyam Kebhyaha iti Chaturthi, Tasmatkabhyam Kebhyaha iti panchami, kasya kayoh kesham iti shashti, kasmin kayoh keshu iti saptami. Because they are pronounced, there is no sambodhana, so something got easier for us. That's one thing. Other thing is we can observe the pattern with akaranta pullinga shabda Rama. See, almost Ramah, Ramo. This one is different now. Okay. Ramam, Ramo, Raman. See, same. Khan. Khan is coming. And then see, Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramaihi. Then here it's different. Ramaya will come. Kasmai will come. Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. Same. Ramat, same. Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha. Ramasya. See, whenever Sya is there, just put it in your system. Sya is Shashti Ekavachanam. Sya is Shashti Ekavachanam. Okay? Kasya. Ramayohu. See, Ramanam will come. Sham is coming here. Sham. Okay? Then here is different. Rame, Ramayohu, Rameshu, Kasmin, Kayohu, Keshu. Shu is same, but here its forms are different. But that's very good. If you memorize this, other 3-4 tables becomes free for us. So that's why we have to understand the differences and memorize this. Okay? Okay, so I guess all of you know how to pronounce them, so I don't think we should repeat this, correct? Okay. So I will discuss now the meaning for this, how to apply with our Vibhakti context, because that's where it becomes tricky. Because once you don't know how to apply the context, then we cannot use it. Once we know, we can use it. So English, kaha means who. Like for example, Ramaha kaha. Who is Rama? Who is Rama? Then we should tell Ramaha kaha. Whom? Okay. Ramaha kam marayati. Whom did Rama kill? Got it? Ramaha kam marayati. Whom did Rama kill? Okay. Kena marayati Ramaha. With what did Rama kill? Banena. Banena Ramaha. Ravanam marayati. Got it right? Kena. Next. Kasmai dattavati mata modakam. Kasmai dattavati. To whom did mother give the sweet? Then we can say balaya dattavati. Mother gave the sweet to the bala, small child. Got it? Next. Kasmat. From where? From where did it? Kasmat jagat utpadyate. From where did the world get produced? Ramat, Krishnat. Jagat utpadyate. Okay. Kasya pustakam etad. Whose book is this? This is Rama's. Ramasya pustakam etad. Okay. Kasmin jagat vartate, Rame jagat vartate. In whom does the world exist? World exists in Rama or Krishna. Same concept, right? Nothing. This actually will reinforce your concept of vibhaktis. But now with the same meaning of asking question. Okay? And if you have to do it in Hindi, somebody can, Tamal Prabhuji, you can read this in Hindi.
कौन किसने किसको किसने थर्ड विभक्ति किससे किसके द्वारा चतुर्थी विभक्ति किसके लिए पंचमी किससे अलग होने के अर्थ में षष्ठी किसका किसकी किसके सप्तमी किसमें किस पर
Understand, right? Simple? That's all. Konika Mataji, you have a question? Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji, my question is, for example, when we say come, it's the object. So the ekbachanam, dibachanam, should it follow the object it is referring to? For example, Ram is doing something to somebody. So should it follow somebody or should it follow Ram? Same with Chaturthi, Kasmai. For example, for whom? Should it follow the person it is referring to or should it follow the person who's doing the action? The milk is
So
for...
yeah.
Yeah, the example that you gave.
Yes. So these are also can be considered as adjectives. Okay. So adjectives we discussed, right? They follow the person who is describing. So for example, Kasmai, when we tell, it's following the person who is a recipient. So actually, in a way, for essentially the another person in the Chaturthi. The Kasmai should follow the person who is receiving, the beneficiary. If there are two people who are receiving, you should use kabyam. See, Raja kabyam dhanam dattaha. Okay. So there are two people, king gave the money. So in a way, in the way we are questioning, we already know the answer. Because unless you know that king gave to two people, you cannot even ask this question.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my question also. If we don't know the answer, like we have to know the answer beforehand.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. You know the answer, then appropriately we use the appropriate form and we have to ask the question. That's why in sometimes the way they question, you can get a clue what the answer is about. So they are asking Vivachana. So I have to tell, see, Rama Lakshmana, cow I should ask. Who are Rama and Lakshmana? I cannot say Kaha Rama Lakshmana. So like that, appropriate, this consider them as adjectives and they should follow the noun or the answer which is of the same vibhakti. Exactly like that. Okay. Everybody's clear about this, right? Nobody has any questions. Okay. Cool. Okay, then now same. Why I'm discussing more tables is the Napunsakalinga form, which now we call it as what in English, is exactly same except for the first two lines, which are exactly identical again. Okay. So makarantaha napunsakalingaha kim shabdaha kim ke kani iti prathama kim ke kani iti dvitiya. That's it. Rest of it is exactly same as pullinga shabda. So we get this table for free. Okay. So all you have to do is just understand that Prathama and Dvitiya are exactly same. And based on the context, we need to understand which vibhakti it is, which is based on the meanings of the vibhaktis, and use them or understand them, whether they're referring to the doer or whether they're referring to the object. Okay. See, for example, Kim etat pustakam. If I tell, what is this book? There it's Prathama. Because the pustaka is there, right? I'm asking what is this book? Kim etat pustakam. But if I tell Ramaha kim pustakam patati, what book is Rama reading? Right? So when we read, the book or the object which he reads becomes an object, right? So Ramaha kim pustakam patati, there kim is Dvitiya, whereas kim pustakam etat means what is this book? That is Prathama. So this same thing, if you understand the concept of what is a doer, what is the object, everything clearly, there will not be any confusion at all. Okay, that's it. So now, okay, before we go into other shabdas, we'll do some kind of everybody's clear so far, right? No questions, I guess. This is the simplest class so far. Okay, we'll do some role play. Okay, so I want, Konika Mataji, you have a question?
Another quick question, Mataji. So if we use this kim or ka, that means that we already know the object that we will be describing, whether this is Punglinga or Strilinga. So we already know
Correct.
the answer. Based on that, we have to form the question.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Sometimes they will, for practice, what they do is they give a sentence. For example, Sita phalam kadati, and they underline the word Sita. They'll ask, okay, write a question for this. So then you have to tell ka phalam kadati. Okay, that's a practice exercise. Oh, I know Sita is Srilinga, so you should tell ka phalam kadati. Like that. Okay. Okay, so I want this term called role play. Role play is like a dramatical narration, right? You take a role like a Rama or this thing, and you enact in that role, and you ask some questions, or rather, you act as that person. So let's do some role play here. So I need a friend for that. Who wants to be my friend in this? I only one person I need. Anybody volunteers? I'll tell them what the role they have to play. Nobody wants to have fun. Hare Krishna. Okay, Konika Mataji wants to do. Okay, Maya Mataji. Okay, let's give chance to Maya Mataji because she didn't talk much. Okay, Maya Mataji, ready? Okay.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay, so what is your role is? You have to ask me questions. Okay, then I will answer. Okay. Usually the things in the red are ones which you are going to ask. Okay. So maybe what we'll do is, I don't want to show everything first and then do it. Okay, let's see. We'll do it. I will give you instructions while we are doing it. So let's see, we'll have fun together. Okay? Yeah. So you have to ask this question.
Yes. Kaha samacharah?
Yeah, 1 second. एषः समाचारः हे मित्रा कृष्णः गोकुले वानराय गोपस्य गृहात् दण्डेन नवनीतं चोरयति. Okay, I told the news. Okay, now you are going to ask me questions. So whatever I'm going to list here, you are going to ask the question. I am going to reply. Okay?
कः चोरयति?
कृष्णः चोरयति.
किं चोरयति?
नवनीतं चोरयति.
केन चोरयति?
दण्डेन घटं भित्त्वा चोरयति.
कस्मै चोरयति?
वानराय चोरयति.
कस्मात् चोरयति?
गृहात् चोरयति.
कस्य गृहं?
गोपस्य गृहं.
कस्मिन् चोरयति?
गोकुले एव चोरयति कृष्णः. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so everybody understood, right? So this is how we use the
Last one you said Gokuleva. Yeah, only Gokule choriyati.
Gokule, and I improvise the sentence. Gokule eva. I put eva.
Oh, okay.
I change the sentence, Prabhuji. Gokule eva means by certainly. Eva means certainly. Okay. Certainly in Gokula itself he stole it for sure, because he does all this thievery only in Gokula. Okay. See, another thing you notice, right? See, as Konika Mataji was telling, right? The question knows already the answer. See, Navanitam is Napunsakalinga. So I didn't say Kam Chorayati. I said Kim Chorayati. Like that, so that's how precise it should be. Cool, right? So this way you will be able to practice. So whenever you may see any sentence, you ask questions to the sentence. That's how you practice all the various forms of the table. Okay. So now let's go to the Yat Shabdaha, which is also very simple. Whoever and whichever, right? And see the example. See, same. Whoever has studied will pass the exam. Same concept. Whomever he kills, that person, whomever Krishna kills in Kurukshetra war, they will get liberated. Like that. Okay, by whatever they use the instrument, by whichever, like that. For whomever, again, same concept. From whomever, whosoever, whosoever son this boy is, that parent is very fortunate. Correct? Okay, like that. Then Saptami, in and on whomever. So, jiske andar hai, like that. Not this will not come. In whomever it is. Yasmin. And this pattern is exactly same as Kim Shabda. That's why we are doing this now. Because instead of ka, just put ya everywhere, you get the same thing. Okay, I'll read this once anyways. So, Dakarantaha Pullingaha Yad Shabdaha Yaha Yau Ye Iti Prathama Yam Yau Yan Iti Dvitiya Yena Yabhyam Yaihi Iti Tritiya Yasmai Yabhyam Yebhyaha Iti Chaturthi Yasmat Yabhyam Yebhyaha Iti Panchami Yasya Yayohu Yesham Iti Shashti Yasmin yayohu yeshu iti saptami. That's it. So you put effort in understanding Kim Shabdaha. Other Shabdas will come very easily for us. And in Hindi, Rajagopinath Prabhu, can you read this in Hindi?
जो जिसने जिसको जिसे जिससे जिसके द्वारा जिसके लिए जिससे अलग होने के अर्थ में जिसका जिसकी जिसके जिसमें जिस पर.
Yes. Okay. So now same Napunsakalinga is exactly the same table. Just the first two lines again are different and which are exactly identical. So what is that? Dakarantaha Napunsakalingaha Yat Shabdaha Yat Ye Yani Iti Prathama Yat Ye Yani Iti Dvitiya. Rest of it is exactly same. Okay. Then that's it. Okay. Tad Shabda. This is for far. Person is very far. Saha kaha is very far. Then I have to tell who is that person who is very far. So this is Dakarantah Pullingah Tat Shabdah Sah Tau Te iti Prathama Tam Tau Tan iti Dvitiya Tena Tabhyam Taihi iti Tritiya Tasmai Tabhyam Tebhyah iti Chaturthi Tasmat Tabhyam Tebhyah iti Panchami Tasya Tayohu Tesham iti Shashti Tasmin Tayohu Teshu iti Saptami. It's exactly same as कः कौके कं कौकान् केन काभ्यां कैः कस्मै काभ्यां केभ्यः कस्मात् काभ्यां केभ्यः कस्य कयो केषां कस्मिन् कयो केषु. So instead of spending 3 or 6 classes teaching each one, because we are a little bit grown-ups, I guess, we can pick it up very fast. Okay. But the main problem will be application. So for that, I will give you exercises. Okay. Then, again, Napunsakalinga, far. Exactly same. The first 2 lines are different. Okay. Tatte tani iti prathama, tatte tani iti dvitiya. And follow, see, all Napunsakalinga usually has phalam phale phalani, phalam phale phalani. So they themselves have a pattern. Usually ni comes at the end in Bahuvachanam. And this comes ekara. Like kim ke kani. See, then other thing what is studied, yeah. Yadye yani. Understand, right? So once we know the patterns, it becomes easy. So we don't have to do rote memorization so much. We can use some logic. Okay. Then our practice exercises. So last time in the discussion group, we have given some like exercises for devotees to identify, or students to identify the vibhakti based on a sentence, so that they can practice this vibhakti application, because that seems the most complex piece so far. Seems like the Tinganta is easy, right? Only 3 rows, 3 columns, and everybody studied Titahanti, Sitata, Ni Mahavaha. So I think it's like vibhakti is where we need to work a lot. So that's why we did some exercises. We gave some exercises. So I will now I'm making it official as part of the session. So whoever does offline also can access them. So the link is here, same link. This is the shared Google folder link. If you open, it comes like this. Fun is instructions. I will describe what the instructions are, but I will first show you how it's organized. So for session 6, basically last week I gave this. So we have given 2 sets of exercises on 2 alternate days, basically. So you will see, if you click this, you will see, for example, okay, I'll go here, July 21 exercises. So this will be the questions. This is actually Sanskrit statement, and it's English meaning as well as the Hindi meaning, so that you can understand from different languages. And there are some bolded words where we want you to identify what are the properties of the word, actually. So what are the properties of the word? I will explain in a minute. And then answers are right in the same document. So what we have to do is do the exercises first and thoroughly, and then check your answers. If you have any doubts, then in the discussion group or in the next session, we can discuss. Oh, Mataji, I thought it should be Dvitiya, why it's Prathama, like that, those kinds of questions. Where first you have to apply the logic so far what you have learned. So then you see if there is a difference in the final answer. Then there is something to think about, something to improve, refine your understanding. That's where we can work on. So there are 2 sets, July 23rd, July 21st, like that, some questions are there. And answers are right there. And this is a new set because many of the people in the group already finished. Bajagopinath Prabhuji finished. So I wanted to give him a treat. So I gave new set of questions. And these questions are tailored to the lesson we are teaching. See, for example, you'll have a lot of questions on kaha and yet, everything. So you'll be able to identify the pratipadikam and you will be able to apply them right away. It becomes easy for you to kind of assimilate the content. Okay, answers are right here. So once you finish this, you can check your answers. Okay, so how to do this exercise? Just simple rules, not much complicated. Just that you can refer your class notes and materials, and even Ashtadhyayi. I completely recommend you look up every shabda in Ashtadhyayi, even though you know the meaning. So you can identify the properties, like go to Koshanvesha, then you'll identify which linga is this. So you just go do more research, basically. Make your hands wet in the Sanskrit field. But don't directly ask the question to AI. They will immediately give the answer. But then we need to develop that skill. Okay. But after you get the answer and you compare with the answers given, if there's a mistake, you can ask AI. Oh, can you explain I thought of it like this, but this is that looks like a correct answer. Can you explain what's the difference? Maybe it will help you. It will help you definitely. But it gives a big answer that may be complicated sometimes. Okay. Next one, after you have attempted, if any question, you can message in the discussion group. Whoever wants to join the group, you can join. Otherwise, you can ask in the Q&A in the next live session. And what are the properties to be specified for Subantas? Means for the Vibhakti tables. This is Sandhi. Supratyaya plus Anta becomes Subanta. Pa becomes Ba. Subantas, what we need to identify is the Pratipadikam, Linga, Vibhakti, Vachanam, and the meanings of the Vibhaktis and meaning of the word. Meanings of the Vibhaktis, let's take a simple list we are following rather than all this nominative, accusative, which I also didn't memorize. So let's take the simple meanings and apply that, and then actual meaning. So for example, Vatikayam, if you give, Vatika is a base form, right? So we say Akarantaha, Srilingaha, Vatika Shabdaha, then we tell the whole Shabda like that. So what is that base form we tell at the beginning? That's what we need to write here. Srilingaha, and what is the actual Vibhakti? Saptami, Ekavachanam, and it's actually the Vibhakti meaning is location, and actual in the context, it's in a garden, like this. So that way you get used to first doing on the paper. Later, we can do it mentally also. So first, when maths tables we practice, right? Initially, you have to use a paper and do all this. But later, we can do mental maths. So like that. So first, let's do it on the paper. Get used to thinking in this way. This is actually thinking in Sanskrit. Okay. Otherwise, if you go to dictionary, Vatikayam, you will not find a word at all. Because you'll only find Vatika. So unless you know which Vibhakti it is and what is the meaning of the suffix of the Vibhakti, you will not understand whether this is an object or an instrument or a location. Correct? Okay. For Tigantas, similarly, these are Kriya in the 9x9 table, right? Kriya Padam, like Patati, Patataha, Patanti. There, what you need to identify is, for example, Pala Ishyavaha. So, Pal Rakshane. So this is the dhatu, and this is the meaning of the dhatu as given in dhatu pata. Okay. So then lakara, uttama purusha, dvivachanam. So even if you know, you can guess them. I want you to look up in the Ashtadhyayi. So that way you get used to this thing. See, for example, here, if I go to ashtadhyayi.com, and then I will show you how to find the properties. So, dhatu pataha. So let's take Kridati. All you have to do is enter that form. You'll get all the properties. So what I have in the first place is Creed is a dhatu. This is actually one we tell in the dhatu pata recitation. That way you'll get used to understanding what is the meaning. Vihare means to roam around or to enjoy, like that. Creedru vihare. It's okay if you don't pronounce also, but at least that way you understand now. Whenever you get free, you know what's the meaning. Just sticking the meaning to the word. So these 3 words are written here. That's it. You look up and then add these guys here. Then lakara, uttama purusha, vachanam, and meaning in English. That's all we have to do. Okay, and this is our homework 3. So I've given the new exercises, so you can complete them by next week. Okay. So any questions?
And Mataji, one more thing. Just you said that we should be looking every word in the Ashtadhyayi. So should we also see those words which you have not highlighted, like in this case, Prapsyasi, you have not highlighted? Okay.
Correct. Yeah, you will see, and you will see, for example, see Tatra. See, Tatra, I didn't teach yet, but you will identify, at least you on your own, you'll find something. So later when the concept is introduced, you'll be able to relate. But don't ask those questions yet in the group or in the
yes.
Other people get confused.
Yeah.
But for you to look ahead, you can do it. Okay. And as you said, Prapsyati, where is that Prapsyati? Here it is. See, Prapsyati, if you look up, you'll not find it actually. But we need to learn some concepts for that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, clear, right? Okay, good. Kind of summarizing all the homework for this session. Make notes if you are still making notes. I don't know who is making, but yeah, continue making. Then we studied with small simple rule where the padanta makaraha. See, remember this padanta makara. If it comes in the middle, doesn't work. Okay, within the pada. See, for example, Ramena, ma is considered to be in the middle. So you cannot use that to use this rule. Understand? Right, like that. So it has to be only at the end. Then, okay, now who can tell me? When followed by what, it becomes anuswaraha.
Alvinjan.
Yeah. So when Vyanjana is followed, it becomes anuswaraha. Otherwise, it remains as it is. Okay. So there is homework given and rule is given. So you can revise that. And we also discuss multiplied letters, Gunitaksharani. And there is homework. Even though it's a baby homework, please do it. So it's clear in our concepts. And we discussed 3 tables, exactly same looking, no problem at all. And one starts with ka, other starts with ya, other starts with sa. That's all. And we also discussed basically 6 tables, pum and napum. And we also understand what they are. Kim means who or what. Questioning. This becomes very crucial because when we come to understanding shloka, the whole thing about understanding shloka is about asking questions. So first step is to identify Kriya Pada within the shloka. Okay. That we can identify once we know all these rules of what is a Kriya Pada. Okay. Tingantas. Once you pick the Kriya Pada, we have to ask question. Okay, who is doing this? Who did this activity? Then you should ask question onto whom did they do? Where did he do? See, for example, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yutsavaha, Mamaka, Pandava, Shaiva, Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. So in that, the action word is akurvata. Akurvata means past tense, did do. They did do. The word itself says many people did some work. That's what it's saying. Then you have to ask them, who are these many people who did this work? Then you will get Mamaka, Pandavas, Chaiva, my sons of Pandu. That's the answer you get. So then you understand they are actually karta for this action. Anyway, this will come later, but I'm giving a clue. This is a way we actually get from shloka into anvaya form. And we are able to relate all the words, even though they are in free word order, connected to one action in one meaningful sentence. So this becomes very crucial. So we need to go deeper. Whatever sentences you see in Sanskritam, you ask questions to that so that your usage of the words are appropriate. Yad Shabdaha means like whoever or whatever. And this also comes in Vigraha Vakya. Like for example, Gajananaha is a compound word. Okay. By hearing that word, you will get a meaning. But in Sanskritam, you need to elaborate it. This is called Vigraha Vakyam, where you expand each of the words and tell how they relate to each other. So you tell it like Gajasya Ananam Iva Ananam Yasya Saha. It comes like that. Means the one who has a face like an elephant's face. That's Ganesha. Okay. So Yasya Saha is coming. What is that Yasya? That Yasya is from Yad Shabdaha. Whose? One whose face is like elephant's face. So this also becomes very critical later. Tad we know, okay, Pum and Napumsakalinga table. Okay, and practice new sentences with them. And recitation of Shabda playlist. If you want to listen, again, you can listen. And analyze Kriya and Shabda and Kriya Pada properties. Homework 3 is given. Whoever has not done other homeworks, you can do it in your own sheets and compare with the answers. Okay. So what we have learned today is Mu and Anuswara rule. And Aksharani 3 we are doing. One more session we will do where we will talk about Samyukta Aksharani. And today we discuss Gudita Aksharani and Matra Abhyasaha. And Shabda Pataha we discuss Kim, Yad and Tad, Pum and Napum tables. And review review. Okay, now we can review any of the Vibhakti practice exercises, or maybe some people are still doing, so we can discuss them in the next class as well. Okay, so we can, any questions or comments we can take at this point. These are, as I mentioned, these are very concept light classes now, because session 2 and session 3 are very critical. So once these are like Tingantas and Subantas, these will be very light for some time. until again we go to concepts. Okay, Prabhuji, Hemant Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, in the when you were telling about the Padant Makara slide, in that one question was raised about the pronouncing of Anuswar. So I don't know how much am I correct. So I got to know. I earlier knew that when the first word when it is ending with Anuswar, and then the pronunciation of that will depend on the first letter of the next word. So if the Anuswar is coming and the first letter of second word is like Ka Vargiya, then it will become Ka Vargiyana. And if it is Cha Vargiya, then it will become. So is that correct? You said that pronunciation is not different. That's why I'm asking.
That's again different. The Anuswara changes into appropriate, that's called Anunasika Sandhi, appropriate last letter of all the different words, different Vargas. That also will come later. That's that's a different Sandhi altogether. Here we are just telling how do we pronounce Ramam when the mu is on top versus when the mu is at the side. Is there any difference
Okay.
within that pronunciation? So
A
that's
single
what I
word
will,
only.
yeah, like Anuswara Yukta Rama versus Makara Yukta Rama. Is there any difference in the pronunciation of that? Then I was telling, I haven't heard much about that, but technically we know there's difference because one is in the Nasika rule, other one is Aushtav. Yeah, but of course that also has Nasika. But what you're saying
And
will come later, Prabhuji. That's called Anunasika Sandhi, will come later.
actually, I had question related to previous sessions. In earlier slides, I saw that for telling the technical terms in Sanskrit, you mentioned them with Sangya Padani. Sangya Padani. But in that Sangya Padani, you told that nouns also comes and verbs also comes, like Kriya Padani but in Hindi, Mataji, noun are generally called as Sangya. Then how will we say noun to in Sanskrit then? Because you collectively mentioned all the words is Sangya Padani. Then how will we mention then noun?
See, what we should do, Prabhuji, is when we are studying certain subject, we should remap our terms according to that subject. Again, we have to create new meanings and train ourselves to apply that meaning when we are studying that subject. So Sangya may be a different meaning outside. That's okay. But when the instructor or teacher of Sanskrit is telling what does Sangya mean within Sanskrit, we need to rewire the new understanding. And whenever they use Sangya, we should bring up only that understanding. Okay? We should isolate. Like how, for example, many people can speak many languages. Right? I can speak Telugu, English, Hindi. Right? When I speak Hindi, of course, we mix up words. Sometimes we use other words also. But when we are speaking Hindi, we think in terms of Hindi only. Like that, and we use the rules according to that language. So like that. So every Shastra, these are called Shastra, Vyakarana Shastra. Every Shastra has its own terminology and it redefines certain things. For example, initially only I told, like Guna. Guna is there, no? Guna. When we do a Vedanta class, we refer Guna as what? 3 modes. Sattva, Rajas, Tama. But Guna means rope in a normal language. Like Yashoda, Gunena Krishnam Vadnati. Yashoda used a rope to tie Krishna. But there will be another meaning for Guna in Vyakarana Shastra. That when we come, I will tell you what is that mean. So we cannot suddenly, if Mataji is saying Guna in this, we cannot suddenly remember Yashoda Mata Leela and remember the rope Yashoda Mata tying to Krishna. So we should remember, Guna in this context is this. So just recollect that mapping and use it. But somehow, Krishna gave us the brain facility to do it. We all can do it. We just need little bit training we need to do. That's all.
So what exactly nouns are called in Sanskrit?
Okay. So Sangya Padani, Sangya means basically technical terms. Sangya means indicator or technical term basically. So Pratipadikam is a technical term. Then Kriya Padam is a technical term. Like whatever essentially the paribhasha they say, like whatever are going to be used later on. Like indicators, like right, left, like that we say. That's the Sanya Padam. And with respect to Kriya Padani, that becomes complicated, Prabhuji. So I'll try to tell. If others don't understand, don't worry. So the question he's asking is, for denoting actions, there is something called tingantas. That's what we understand so far. Like patati means reading, right? That is coming directly in the tinganta table, correct? But there are some words or suffixes which are called krut pratyaya, which can be added to dhatu, which makes them krudanta pada, which can take suffix, by which they can actually get into subanta table. See, for example, Ramaha Gramam Gataha. Gataha actually indicating going. But Gataha takes the form of Ramaha only. It's in a Vibhakti table. Gataha Gatau Gataha. Gatam Gatau Gatan. It comes like that. You understand? Gata indicates action, which is of going. But it's actually capable to take the sub suffixes. Okay. So that's why we cannot strictly tell whatever comes in sub table is always a noun. That's why it gets complicated. Hopefully, Hemant Prabhu, if you understand, it's okay. Otherwise, when we come to it, we will understand further. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, we'll ask this Rajagopinath Prabhu. Yeah.
Mataji, just as you mentioned, so patne, like one of the exercise, patne is there. So I saw that this is also do not come in any of the kriya padani. I check all the lakara, but I'm not able to find it. So is it because it is also coming in supratyaya table, something like that? Patne.
Yes, that's coming Supratyaya table for sure. But what I wanted you to do is understand the patterns. Once again, Prabhu, I'll mute you. There is echo coming from you. See, for example, understand the pattern. Patane, does it sound or look like any of the Shabda you already know? Then you map to that Shabda. At least do your guess. This is all pattern matching. Patane, it definitely falls into Rama table. Okay. Patana is a Pratipadikam. Or Patana is a Pratipadikam. Then now you map into Rama table and see what would it be. Do some guesses. So some is as it is. Some are extrapolative. Some are like, you can do a little bit more research. And finally, any answer is given, you can check also. Okay,
And
Prabhu.
one, two more questions, Mataji. Regarding like some things I'm not able to find out in ashtadhyay.com. For example, balaka. This word the table is not coming in ashtadhyay when I'm searching in not in dhatu pata, shabda pata there. So I mean, why is it happening in on that?
Okay, here you go. Yeah, main thing, Prabhuji, see ashtadhyay.com. It's giving you models, role models. Like for example, go to Shabda Pata. It's giving you some of the varied patterns you can come across in the world. All the world words will not be there. It's not needed also. See, once you know Akaranta Rama Shabda, many of the Akaranta comes free. What's the point in giving all of this here? Right? So then you have another option. First of all, you look up that Shabda within Shabda Pata. If you don't find it, then what you have to do, then you have to go to dictionary to see the properties. So you have to go to Koshanveshaha and then you type Balakaha. Maybe it doesn't allow me to type here. Now let's see. Oh, Balaka and see if you get any meaning. If you don't get it, then try Bala. That also you're not getting. Okay. Or sometimes it's okay. See, Bala, it gives a meaning. Bala, then of course, this is initially Sanskrit. But at the bottom, you can see in Hindi, it's a small boy. And you know it's Akaranta, and it actually gives you the Linga, the Pullinga. Then you can use Akaranta Pullinga table, Rama. Just insert that, you'll get it. On your own, you can insert. You don't need somebody to show you the table. And similarly, let's see Balaka, if it's there. See, Balaka is there. You will at least know what's the meaning. So you'll come here, see, child or a boy. And also it says it's a Pullinga. So you can use Rama table. That's it. So first is go to Shabda table. If as it is given, that's good. If it's not there, understand what is the Pratipadika. See, maybe sentence may say Balakena. So then you need to reverse engineer and find out what is the Pratipadikam. Then you go to Bala. If a Ramayana, it becomes Rama. So Balakena will become Balaka. Then find the Pratipadikam and now do research and find out what its meaning is. And identify linga. Then sometimes you may be misguided. You may think it's actually pullinga, but you will see actually it's not. Then you may have to go to napunsakalinga. So that's how you will find out. Your more links, vocabulary will get established. Okay. Then other option is, if still you really want to see the table, then only you will understand. Then this is a little bit more advanced tool, this website here. Here, if you go to noun generator, okay. And now if you go to Balaka here, and they say you're generating noun and pulling a form, Rupani Darshayata, you'll get the same table here. This generating dynamically. See what Ashtadhyayi does, it has a set data and it's just showing you how displaying on the website. This is a generator. So whatever pada you give, if it's a proper Sanskrit word, most of the cases it generates. Any word it is like that. So this is also another tool. Right now we can use this, and later we can introduce other tools like, see, verb generator are there. Yeah. So you understand it, Prabhuji? Okay.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. And one more thing, Mataji, you just now taught about that yad shabda, and we have seen the table also. And since it's a pratipadikam, so we do not use it directly, and the transformation we use. But like in this verse, yad vibhuti masatvam. So I mean, there yad means like, how then we are using yad there directly?
Yeah. See, what is the Napunsakalinga form of yet? How does the Napunsakalinga form come?
Yad. But there I think yad is there, Mataji.
That's a Sandhi transformation. This ta becomes, see here. Yad is a pratipadikam, but it becomes ta. This is Sandhi transformation. Ta converts to da. That later comes. That will come later.
And
But
is it
actually, they're using this word.
will they use Napusanlinga or Strilinga? Because Vibhuti, like it's referring Vibhuti, and Vibhuti is a Strilinga Shabda. So we have to use this whatever also of the Strilinga, kya? Instead of this Napusanlinga Yat.
Yad vibhuti matsarvam. We have to analyze, Prabhuji. See, actually, if it's used as a samasa, that's a different rule again. Okay, it becomes complicated. Okay, wait. Can you show me the verse? Yad vibhuti matsatvam. Okay, yad can also be, I think, so if you look at yad, there is also maybe avyaya. Okay, so Trilingaha. Okay, that's what we have. Avyaya, see, that's what it is. This is another concept, Prabhuji. Avyaya are called indeclinables. Okay, so the one we studied is who. This yet, whenever it changes, is like jis kisi ne, jis koi, like that it come. And there's another one called avyaya, which doesn't change. That will come later. That means as it is, it remains. I'll discuss that concept later. So that's why, that's why this lookup is very important. Okay. Yeah. See, it's indeclinable. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Okay, Srijita.
Hare Krishna Mataji, happy Ekadashi.
Oh, happy
Thank you for
Ekadashi for all of you.
Thank you for inspiring us every week to study Sanskrit. I have a very small question. Mataji, should we say Sanskritam or Sanskrit? Like, I have this confusion. So
Actually, it is Sanskritam only. So I'll type you like this. I will hear 1 minute. So this is a question somebody asked, right? So it's Sam plus Kritam. Okay. So then it goes on top. Anuswara will come actually. Samskritam. And then Samskritam. And somewhere the sa will come. Samskritam. Okay, so it's supposed to be like this. But in English, because they make it very simple, right? Difficult for them to pronounce. They call it Sanskrit. Okay, and some variations they call it Sanskrit also. Sanskrit. Sanskrit. They call it like this, which is very close to the actual name here. The Karnataka Samskrita Vishwavidyalaya they tell. Okay, if you go to K like that, you see their web page itself. They'll be Karnataka Samskrita Vishwavidyalaya. Okay, this Sanskritam. Okay, Srijita.
Yes, Mataji. And Mataji, I have one question. Like you said that you'll share with us the full form of Hal and Ach. That it's the short form. Actually, there's a longer version to it. So if you can
Longer
share it.
version. Okay, longer version. We already, I think, last session we showed you. Basically, it's a Shiva Sutra. It's a short form. Hal indicates all the this one, no? See, Ach is coming from here to here. Ach. It's all the swaras. Okay, this is Ach. But it is in a different order. Okay, Ach. But it's A, I, U, R, L, A, I, O, Au. It's in different order because these are made for grammar rules. Okay, and Hal, it starts from here and it goes to this one. And all the Vyanjanani are here. If you analyze, you will find all the Vyanjanani here. So actually nobody asked me question. Last time I gave a homework. For lit lakara, I told you to study nam dhatu. Who did the homework? Nobody did the homework. Hemant Prabhuji did. Yeah.
Mataji, it's namsyati, namsyatah, namsya.
Okay, good boy. Hemant is Prabhuji is the good student. Okay. Everybody else is missing the homeworks. They don't even look at the homework slide only. Okay. Okay, nam. If you look at nam, go to lit lakara. See, otherwise, for pat dhatu, what is the lit lakara? Bachugovind Prabhu.
पट धातु पठिष्यति पठिष्यतः पठिष्यन्ति पठिष्यसि पठिष्यतः पठिष्यत पठिष्यामि पठिष्यावः पठिष्यामः.
See here, the sha was supposed to be there, but here sya only remains. That's why I asked you to look up and figure out so that I can slowly lead you into telling the rule why sometimes sa will come, one time sha will come. But because you all didn't do homework, I didn't teach. Okay. Not only that, because I wanted to teach you, there are some more things we need to teach, especially the Shiva Sutrani I want to teach. So then it requires 2 more classes for that. So I'm just pushing little farther away so that we can get into studying the Shiva Sutrani first in one class. And then before that, I need to finish the Aksharani sequence going on. So anyways, all of them have to plan properly. So we'll get to this in 3 sessions, Prabhuji. Anyway, Hemant Prabhu will not leave if I don't teach in couple of sessions. Okay. Okay, any other questions, Hemant Prabhuji?
Could I add a small question? In the Rakar, you said that Hasva and Dirgha, they sometimes they appear similar. Like if the double Rakar symbol is coming, then also we will something like that. You said I couldn't follow that.
Yes. So basically, it's a font, Prabhuji. See, I don't know whether I can change the font here. I don't think I can change. So what I need to do is, I'll show you that slide where I have. Okay, see, let's go here. Okay. See, now I'm in the editing mode. Okay. So if you look at this font, this is, I'm saying Rasva Rukara, the Dirgha Rukara, right? And what is the font? The font is called, it's called Sanskrit 2003. Okay, Prabhuji? In Sanskrit
Yes, yes.
2003, this is Rasva Rukara, Dirgha Rukara. But now let's say I change it to Nirmala UI. See what will happen. See? Rasva Rukara is like this, Dirgha Rukara is like this. So when you see this, sometimes you get confused. Is it a Rasva Dirgha? But when you see this remains same with respect of this letter. Okay? That's it.
So this Nirmal UI is this a font standard font library or what?
I somehow like this font, Prabhuji, Nirmal UI. I try to use that everywhere, everywhere. But different people have different choices. I like this. See, this is Nirmal UI. I feel the name also is like Nirmala, right? It's pure. Somehow I like the way it presents the letters. So you can look up. There are many options like Devanagari is there and other options are there. You can see which one you like. Mangal,
But
see, Mangal
aren't
is
there
also.
so aren't there standard Sanskrit fonts or like these fonts can
All of them
uh,
support Sanskrit, Prabhuji. There
no
are
no
many
like
varieties.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Like English, we have so many fonts like Arial and all those things. For supporting Devanagari letters, many Sanskrit fonts are there,
Okay, so
but
it's
they look
related to like
different.
the design of the appearance of
Ah,
the font. Okay.
correct, correct.
I
See, for
I thought
example,
they are
they don't look different. See, this is Nirmala. If I change it to like to something else, Mangal, see, it looks different. See, little bit different from this, no? Little different. I like Nirmala. It's a personal choice. See, this somehow feels very good for me. But same Sanskrit letters are there. Just the way they write, it's different. That's it. Okay. Okay. Yes,
and
everybody.
one last small question, Abhay.
Hmm.
Regarding the Gunita Aksharani, just wanted to confirm. These are the like permutation and combination of 33 Shuddha Vyanjans with 13 Swaras. Yes. Not between two Vyanjanas, right?
Correct. Correct. Yes.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
we are dividing into two classes. So next class,
Okay.
once you are pakka with this, we are going to discuss how, like for example, three, and th and r. You know how to pronounce them, how to write them. All the rules we'll study next class. Conjunct consonants. Okay. That's called Samyuktaksharani. This Gunitaksharani, that's Samyuktaksharani. Okay. Then, okay, so we'll go to our sorry slide. Wrap up. Hare Krishna. So we'll seek what to say forgiveness from all the wonderful Vaishnavas if there is any mistakes in my dealings with all of you. Pritya sotsaha sevayam aparada maya krita kshamitva sadava sevam me dadatu muhurmuhu. We discussed all this, so I'll just, in my enthusiastic loving service to you all, I have committed many offenses. May the saintly kindly forgive them and grant me an opportunity to serve you again and again. Okay, that's one thing. So we'll offer everything now, all the wonderful things through our Guru Parampara to our beloved Sri Radha and Krishna for their pleasure. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother.
See you all next week. Happy practicing.